keep it short, but I'm going to talk about something I think is extremely important to me personally, and that's legacy. And I think oftentimes when we think of legacy, in the world that we live in today, it's a word that gets used the wrong way. We think it's only for certain people, right? When we watch ESPN, you can't watch ESPN without talking, what's LeBron's legacy, right? What's Tom Brady's legacy? Is he the greatest of all time? And so we reserve it for these high caliber, greatest of all time conversations. And I just don't think that's the reality of the word. I think the word really is about all of us, all of the people in this room. And we think about legacy, you will all have a legacy. Every single one of you. But the reality is the legacy is about the people in this room. The people who you will have a legacy about are the people in this room. Those are the people you're going to leave a legacy on, okay? And so if you look at the Bobcat record books, if you look at throughout Bobcat history, there's going to be 3 names that you're probably not going to see, and those are the people I'm going to talk about today. Guys by the name of Matt Ingram, guys by the name of Michael Splickerberg, and a guy by the name of Jordan Wells. Again, if you look at throughout history, these are not going to be guys that you're going to see coming, okay? But the first guy I'm going to talk to you about why I think they have left such a legacy in my life and an impact in my life. First guy's Matt Ingram. So Matt Ingram was my grade, graduated 2008. I would venture to say if you look at the record books, he might have a tackle, a singular one. That guy showed up every single day, worked his absolute tail off in the scout team, knowing that he wasn't probably going to play on Friday. He knew he wasn't going to get in. When everyone ran on that field on Friday, Matt Ingram ran with us, knowing that he probably wasn't going to play that day. But every single day, he showed up to weights. Every single day, he showed up to work the scout team to make our life miserable. And I think about legacy. I think about the times in my life where I had to be a part of something and I really wasn't a big player. And how hard that is. We think football's hard, right? Like, football is hard. You get beat up. The hardest thing in sports, if all of sports, is showing up to every weight session, every practice, in every game, knowing you're not going to play. That's the hardest thing in sports. And he did it every single day. And there's guys here that are like that. And I'm telling you, 10, 15 years from now, when you're old like I am, there's going to be someone telling your legacy. If you continue to do the things that Matt Ingram did, you will have the impact on people's lives that you have no idea. The impact that Matt Ingram doesn't know he had on my life. The second one's a guy by the name of Michael Splickerberg. Michael Splickerberg was actually his birthday was yesterday. I was texting him yesterday. And he was telling me yesterday that he's got a couple little ones about the same ages as my little ones. He's teaching them some of the things we used to say before practicing games to get fired up. And we kind of went back and forth, and it's like, can you really say that to a 2-year-old? Because we didn't have the best mouth at 17, 18 years old. But Michael Splickerberg he'd be the first to tell you as a starting safety that he was, I'm trying to say this nicely because I'm recording this, athletically challenged a little bit. He wasn't going to wow you with his athletic ability. In fact, Michael Splickerberg and I ran a lot of JV races together in track. We never really cracked that varsity track lineup, if you get where I'm going with that. We weren't very fast. And he was a starting safety for us. And he was an energy guy, man. God, he had good energy. Every day he showed up, and he just brought it. Like, he brought this unique energy that was contagious and allowed everyone else to just elevate their game a little bit. And because of that energy, he had success. And because of that energy, I found out what it's like to really take my game to another level and what it takes to be successful day in and day out and maximize your ability, because energy is the game. That's how you win in this game, and that's how you win in life, and he consistently would have that energy. The third person I'm going to talk to you guys is about a guy named Jordan Wells. Now, Jordan Wells was a senior in the 2005 football season. Jordan Wells had been a quarterback in the program for his whole career. And now was his senior year. He backed up a senior for the junior and then a senior. And now it was Jordan Wells' time, 2005 season. A week before the season starts, we have a meeting. Then head coach Dave Holdeman, there's a sign, I'll never forget it, there's a sign on the team room. You guys have a lot better locker room than we used to, but there was, in the locker room when we walked in, there was a little board, and it said all quarterbacks meet in the team room. And I was a sophomore quarterback at the time, so it said all quarterbacks, all levels meet in the team room. So we go into the team room, and I go, what the heck are we doing here? And Jordan Wells says, well, you're about to be named the starter on varsity a week before the season. The senior, who had waited his whole life to be the starting quarterback for the Bobcats, just told me as a sophomore, hey, it's your turn. Now, this guy was the leader of the senior class. You guys know, I mean, it comes with the position, right? He's been the quarterback of this team his whole life. And this guy then tells a sophomore, hey, man, you're up. Think of the power a senior leader has in that moment to say, hey, senior class, make this guy's life miserable. This sophomore, he doesn't deserve to be here. Not for a second did Jordan Wells do that. He opened his arms as wide as he possibly could and said, hey, you're part of our team now. This is your team. Go lead us. He took his pride, put it as far on the shelf as you possibly can, and he became a slot receiver, all-conference slot receiver for us that year. That is legacy. So when you think, when you're halfway through your year, some of you guys, it's your senior year, 2, 3, some of you guys have 2, 3 years left. When you lay your head on the pillow at night, I want you to make a really conscious decision about what type of legacy. 10, 15 years from now, I guarantee you, the people that you're going to be talking to, they're not going to care about any records that you had. They're not going to care about any all-conference, all-state. I promise you, as much as it is important to you right now, it will not be important in the future. What is important is what these people in the room will say about you 10 to 15 years later. And I challenge you when you go to bed tonight to think about what they're going to say. What are your teammates going to say about you? Are they going to say, this guy brought it. He brought it. He maybe didn't need to bring it. He could have slugged, but he chose to bring it. Like I'm talking about Matt Ingram. Are they going to talk about you like I talk about Michael Swicker, but it's like, dude, that guy had energy now. He brought it. He'd come hit you. Wasn't athletically gifted, but he'd come hit you, and he brought it. He made everyone else better. Are they going to talk to you about you like I talk about Jordan Wells? Think about that. I want you to make a very conscious decision about what that legacy is going to be. Again, I can't tell you how proud I am to be a part of this program, to be an alumni, and to raise kids that I hope to be just like you guys someday. So, again, I appreciate the opportunity. Go leave your legacy and go take care of business tomorrow. Good luck, guys.